Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome to the Open That Door podcast, YouTube video, and our community. Thank you for joining me. So, when I first started this podcast, I would I would get these downloads and I would write everything out, and then I would record in my closet without video on and follow my script basically that I wrote because I was nervous and I wanted to make sure that I was really expressing and communicating the download that I got. And and then I've been able to kind of go off the cuff more and not have scripts. And then I do interviews and all of this. But this week I did get a download, and I want to dedicate this week to reclaiming what is possible for all of us. Just reclaiming what is possible for all of us. And I have my download here on a piece of paper. It's here in my heart and head, but it's also here. So you're going to see me look down and try to read my chicken scratch throughout this. But I just want to stay true to this download, this message that came through me this week, and that this week is really dedicated to reclaiming what is possible for you, for the world. And here we go. So the idea that we live in this parallel universe where there are different versions of ourselves living out different lives based on different circumstances and decisions, choices. I don't know if that concept is real or not. That's not really my domain to know. But I like the idea of that because what it presents is this opportunity to remind us that the way we're viewing the world and what we hold as true, as reality, in quotes, is really dependent upon our perspective, the way we're viewing the world, the actions we're taking, the beliefs that we have. We really are the hero in our story. But it's interesting to think that with a shift in perspective, a shift in belief, a release of a limiting loop or a limiting belief, trading one way of seeing the world for a new way, that truly can shift us into what could feel like a parallel universe, because life can really show up differently based on how we're showing up and seeing the world. So I like this idea because it illustrates that our thoughts and our emotions and what we believe is possible creates our current reality. And meaning that what we see and call reality is simply us finding proof and validation for how we actively or passively are choosing to see the world. So in other words, we have this storyline that we hold as true, and then we set out in our day to validate or find proof for the storyline. And we can find proof for anything. It's going to be out there. So the lens through which we are seeing the world will reflect back proof of what we're holding as true and valid. And that's how we sometimes see our storyline as fact instead of fiction. And that doesn't mean that we're making up things, but sometimes we hold truth to be universal when really it's a perspective. So for instance, if I believe that people are untrustworthy, then I'm going to spend my day, I'm going to turn the page here, I'm going to spend my day verifying that, finding proof, validating. And this obviously isn't done at the forefront of our mind. Most of this, our beliefs are done under covers in our subconscious and unconscious realms. But I'm going to be looking for proof and validation that you are untrustworthy. So I'm going to look for clues, body language, the tone of voice, the words you say, the way you turn toward me or turn away from me. And it might be something like, I believe I'm having a bad hair day. And then I'm chatting with you and you mention that I look really good today. Or you say something like, oh, your hair's really cute. And then you're standing next to somebody and then you guys, I see you exchange this look, or it looks like maybe you're smirking. And then immediately I believe that you are making fun of me, that you actually think I'm I look awful, that my hair looks crappy. And now you're sharing that you guys are having this little wink, you and this other person, at my expense. And then I think, "Ugh, there it is again. I can't trust people. I can't believe and take at face value what people say to me." And I'm validating that storyline that I look like crap today, that my hair looks shitty. And that's a really basic example. But another one would be like, I'm feeling insecure and unlovable today. I woke up with these feelings. They're tough. It's hard for me to be with them. And in fact, I don't want to be with them. So I'm going to push them away. I'm going to try to retreat away from my feelings, push them away, avoid them, deny them. I'm going to have this energy that's pushing away. And then I'm going to step into the world with this energy that's pushing away. And I'm going to push you away and you away and you away. I'm going to push people away because I'm in that mode of, instead of allowing space for what is true and coming forth inside of me, I'm trying to deny it, reject it. And I have the energy of rejection and pushing away around me in my space. That's what I'm coming at the world with. And then I'm getting a response that matches that from the world. Other people are sensing that energy in me and they're giving me space. They might feel like, okay, this person needs some space. I'm going to step back. I'm going to turn away. I'm going to maybe avoid this person because what I'm getting from them is a pretty intense pushing of energy. And then, of course, in my realm of trying to deny my tough feelings and feeling unlovable, I'm going to then find proof that, see, people are turning away from me. I am unlovable. No one wants to be around me. They can't tolerate me. I'm too much. I'm not enough. All of that storyline. We're reflecting outward our inner state with an idea or storyline attached to it. And then we get that information back that we call proof and validation that we're true and right inside. And then we live in a state of righteousness and blame and disempowerment and really being a victim of our own circumstances. Now, there is a difference between life coming at us and circumstances that really are out of our control. Okay, I want to differentiate that between apart from what I'm saying, of what we bring forth into the world. So I come up against this opposition in me, this opportunity in me on a regular basis that we all do. And in the past, what I would do is retreat inward. I would shut down. And then I would live inside this flatlined experience. I was very stuck, and I would be sensitive toward what was coming back at me, not realizing that I was generating that energy return. And I felt very much a victim of the world. And I didn't know how to break through that. And I know that we've all had moments like that, or years or lifetimes, of feeling that we're at the mercy of what's coming at us. And it can be really overwhelming. And some of us are a little more perceptive or energetically open, sensitive, perceptive to feeling energy that comes our way. Sometimes we don't realize that we're also putting out energy that can be felt by others in a big way. And so I would retreat, and then I would feel rejected because I would reject myself instead of just giving myself the time to go inward and get the wisdom that was available through my tougher emotions, through those feelings of being unlovable, being not enough, being incapable, all of those things, unworthiness. There is wisdom in those feelings, but they're not always comfortable to welcome. But when your energy is pushing away, energetically, you're pushing away. You're pushing away your good. You're pushing away other people. You're pushing away access to that which you truly do want and need and desire. And then we tend to flip it and feel judged and feel rejected and feel not enough. So what I want to communicate and what this download was about is that we have power in this moment when we project onto the world that which we are really feeling about ourselves or an experience we're having inside. When we decide to flip the switch and do a 180 shift and actually come inward and take responsibility, it completely frees us and empowers us. It's not necessarily a feel-good process all the time, but it's the truth that when we flip the switch and come inside and take care of our lane, the response we get from the world based on what we're putting outward is transformative, and it is empowerment at its finest. And you are more powerful than you believe. You are more powerful than you believe. I know this to be true. I know it about myself, and I know it about you. And I know you're powerful in moments, and then I know you believe that you're less than in moments, because that's the human experience. I'm right there with you. There's nothing to be ashamed about. I think if we lift the veil on this human experience and know we all go through the range of emotions and accept that and stop feeling ashamed about the darker feelings and know that there is wisdom in the dark as much as there is in the light. And we have to have dark if we're going to have light. And the more light we have, the more dark we have. It's the law of polarity. It's just a universal law and fact. And we can actually harness it to experience our lives in an entirely new way, to reach in and get a wholeness and richness that hasn't maybe been available to us. I think we live life backwards. We see life backwards. And when we can just do that 180-degree turn where we take responsibility for the outcomes in our lives, we can't control other people. There are circumstances beyond our control. This isn't about trying to control things, and it's not about blaming yourself or the world. In fact, it's about relinquishing the idea and the concept of blame in exchange for true empowerment and freedom. Okay, so this is all very good news. It's all very good news. It allows you to shake off like a wet dog all of those layers of expectations and ideas about how life is supposed to be and should be, and pointing fingers and finding fault outside of ourselves. It's so much energy to maintain those falsehoods. And when we finally shake them off, like we would a dog who just emerged from a lake, and let ourselves off the hook, there's so much freedom and joy and authenticity and connection and power and peace and happiness available for you. Let me refer to my notes. And this experience can be easier than you think. I know for me, there were so many years where I felt like I could not find my way forward, and I could not find access to more power inside of me, more peace. I couldn't quite learn how to flip that switch. I knew what was available for me, but it was really hard. And so the first thing is just be patient and be gentle with yourself. If you're not where you want to be and where you know you can be based on who you know you are, inside, beyond those layers of artifice and pretense, pretending and trying to live up to somebody else's standards that we've adopted. When you know who you are beyond all of that, on a basic fundamental level, possibility is all that exists. And opportunity shows up through adversity. What used to stop us becomes an opportunity to move our lives forward. It actually becomes the means to move your life forward, where it used to be what would stop you, what would stop me. So the next time you feel yourself caving in, shutting down, avoiding, trying to run away from yourself, rejecting yourself, hating on yourself, feeling not enough, feeling like you're too much, feeling like you're unworthy, you're ashamed, that anger, that implosion of energy when you're trying to deny what is so inside of you, you just start by stopping, by pausing. You just go someplace for 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes. Go into a broom closet. Go into the bathroom at a restaurant. Go into your bedroom. Go into the break room. Take a walk outside. Just give yourself 5 minutes. And the first thing you're going to do when you've given yourself time and space is breathe. And honestly, that is our life force. Accessing your breath and reconnecting to your breath is the single most powerful way you gain access to possibility, empowerment, opening that door, reconnecting with who you really are. So just take 5 deep breaths, inhales and exhales. When you focus on your exhale, you often find access to yourself a little faster. So just give yourself the time and space to breathe. And as you breathe, you're going to notice your thoughts. And thoughts are just synapses firing with an image attached. They're just little fleeting flickers in our brain. They don't mean anything, but we can't stop our thoughts. But what we can do is notice them as we're breathing. And then you start to find the space that exists around your thoughts. There is space around your thoughts. You find that by giving yourself breath and time and space. And you start connecting with that space around your thoughts. And then you're going to simply ask, what is it that I need to know right now? Or what is it that I need right now? And in that space inside you, the answer will bubble up. It will. It always does. And sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a phrase, sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a difficult feeling telling you what it needs right now. Sometimes it's instructions or a clear set of actions or a single action. It could mean that you just need to give yourself a hug. So do that. Or it might mean that you need a hug from somebody else, so go ask for one. It might mean that you need to be quieter today, to just listen, and so do that. It might mean that you need to speak up today, to use your voice more, to be seen and heard more. Do that. It might mean that you need to make a phone call. You might need to apologize. You might need to forgive somebody else or yourself. It might mean that you need to have that difficult conversation with yourself or with somebody else. It might mean that you need to do that thing that you've been avoiding. It might mean that you need to give yourself permission to be happy today, to be at peace with what is. It might mean that you need to give yourself permission to be who you know yourself to be. Whatever it is, the answer will arise, and your job is to hear it, listen, and trust and heed that wisdom. Whatever it is, trust it and do it. Be it. Own it. Have it. Give yourself that permission. And that's it. That's your way forward. And that process and that power exists for you every second of every day, every moment. And if you need to go into that broom closet 7 times today, or just give yourself that 5 minutes or 5 seconds, if that's all you have, to find that space, you will have access to the greatest power that exists, which is the voice inside you that contains multitudes, that contains possibility, and that is the open door to access the life that awaits you. Life is a constant process of creation and manifestation. And the energy that we bring forth is what we're going to get back. We can see it in our media every single day. What we emit comes back to us. We are more powerful than we think. And you really can start showing up in a way and training the world to respond to you based on what you're bringing forth. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not stuck. You just yet haven't given yourself the opportunity to get into the space that exists inside you that we all share and find the wisdom that exists and the simple next step that is your way forward. That is that open door that creates the life and the livelihood you love. And so in the spirit of reclaiming what is possible today and this week, I give you this podcast episode. I give you my love and my respect, knowing that you have everything it takes to be the best version of yourself, including the darkness that's inside you, because that supports all the light that you are here to bring forth onto this beautiful planet. So in solidarity, in responsibility, in freedom, and in empowerment, I wish you a wonderful week, a wonderful day, and a wonderful life. Here's to opening that door to a life and livelihood you love.